Okay, everyone, the next two assignments, we're going to go to the Live Chronometer website. And this will help you submit the next two assignments, but please be sure they're the same dates that you submitted on Canvas for the original 3 days. So the days that I've graded and reviewed, those are the same dates that you're using. We printed them and created a PDF, but now you're going to go to the Live Chronometer website so that you can use sort of the interactive features that it has to answer some questions. So I'm just going to point out how to use this. You'll notice that, for example, water. When you hover over the nutrient water, it will tell you what the function of water is in your body, which is really nice. But if you go over to the percentage area and hover over, on this particular date, it'll show you your top sources of water for the day. If I click on water, I'll even get more information like how much should I be striving for on a daily basis. In this example, it's about 2,700 grams a day. And this shows which foods provided me. You can do that with all of these nutrients. One of the questions I'll ask you is, what were your top 3 sources of fiber for day 1, day 2, and day 3? In that case, you would hover over, so you would find fiber, hover over the percentage area, and you'll see on day 1, this person had a sope, which is a Mexican meal, and it had 8.5 grams of fiber. Then that person would then go to the second date, and if you have some data there, you would hover over. And in this case, it's a repeat. So we don't want to repeat the same foods. I say it clearly in the instructions. So you would use the bean burrito with cheese at 4.8 grams of fiber. Let's try a different date. In this case, if I hover over, on this date, it has another bean burrito, but I don't want to repeat. So I'm going to go to the second food, which is an apple with the skin, and it's 3.6 grams. So as long as you have 3 different foods, ideally it's the top food from each day that's rich in a nutrient. But if you don't have, for example, on your day 3, you have no fiber-rich foods, then use something from day 2. So nothing in the assignment is blank. You always are filling in because my goal is for you to learn which foods do you eat that contribute to these nutrients. So this is interactive in many ways. You can click on it to get your target. You can hover over to find your top foods. And this is for all the nutrients. So please take a look at this. The one kind of tricky area that is in the macronutrient analysis assignment is one that's for fat. So I'll ask you to create a table that highlights the top 3 fat foods from day 1, day 2, day 3. So again, I'm hovering over. So for this day 1, you'll see that the bean burrito with cheese had the most fat. It was 17.2 grams. But I also ask you, well, how much mono unsaturated fat did it have? How much poly and how much saturated? So you would go to the saturated fat, and you can see the bean burrito there at 7.6 grams. You can highlight the monounsaturated, it has 4.2, and the poly, it had 3.3. Not all foods will have data for mono and poly. And you all should know why if you read chapter 5, and that is because it is optional for food companies to list mono and polyunsaturated fat amounts, but it is not optional for saturated or trans. So those are required. So that's why I tell you find the three highest fat foods using total fat. I'm pointing it out here on the screen, total fat. And then you do one for each day. There's 3 days. And then you would find the breakdown for the types of fat within that food. Okay? There's another way to find out. If I click on in this list of foods in the food diary, if I just highlight the bean burrito, so I clicked on it, you can see it's highlighted. All of the data for the bean burrito is here. So you can know how many calories, you could see how many total fat grams, mono, poly, you can see the omega-3s, and you can see saturated and trans fats. You can also see all the vitamins and minerals for that. So there are other ways to find out, for instance, all the nutrient information on the foods that are listed here by highlighting it. And you can see the calories in the walnuts, for instance, was only 14. And you can also see specifically how much nutrients are in that one food. Okay, so there's other ways to find the data. Just play around with your food diary. Just make sure you're using the same 3 dates that you submitted for the original food diary assignment. Okay, thank you.